Well, there's not much I can tell you, to be honest.
It's been here nearly 12 hours. Shouldn't it be coming round now?
Well, that's the problem. We've done some initial tests, and, well as his various other injuries, the injury to his head means that there's a distinct possibility that if Mr. McDonald does regain consciousness, he might well be brain damaged.
Hang on. What do you mean, if?
Well, it's early days yet, but I'm afraid there is the likelihood that your father may never come out of his coma.
She won't tell me anything.
They've said all they can.
And what if he stays like this?
He won't.
Oh, you know more than the doctors now, do you?
People make amazing recoveries. Papers are full of stories.
Yeah, well, they don't report on the poor sorts that never move again, do they?
As soon as he comes round, he'll be straining to get off this bed.
Mum, he can't even open his eyes.
He will.
He might.
I don't see how it happened.
He fell.
Yeah, but he shouldn't have been there.
Mum, I've told you this. I'm not going over it again.
It just seems so stupid.
Look, I'll get you a drink. What do you want, tea?
I mean, why would he be climbing up scaffolding on a building site where it doesn't even work?
Tea? I'll get you a cup of tea.
All I said was, there's got to be more to it than that.
Yeah, well, that's all you've said since I got here.
I've got a right to know what went on. Do you expect me not to care? You did see him, didn't you?
Well, what if I did?
Was he ranting and raving?
No.
Don't lie to me, Steve. You haven't had a civil word to say to each other for months.
What, you think it was my fault now, do you?
No. No, I don't. We've all been on the receiving end. He loses his temper, his control goes, he doesn't know what he's doing.
He came to see me about this job he's got with Kevin.
You mean he came to ram it down your throat? Had he been drinking?
Well,
Well, had he, hadn't he?
yes.
Was he drunk?
Well, I wouldn't say drunk.
What would you say?
Look, I'm not surprised he fell off. I'm surprised he got up there in the first place. Oh, look, I've got to go. The health and safety inspector's coming.
Oh, yeah, you go. You've got your business to see to.
Look, I can't. Well, I mean, I'm in charge, aren't I? I've got to be there.
I know. Go on.
We'll be all right.
Yeah. I'll see you later.
See you later.
You bring it on yourself. Every time. Every single time. Everybody's asking about you. Over in Rovers, they were all saying, hey, tell Jim we can't wait till he comes walking in here. They're all hoping. I wish I knew if you could hear me. You know, looking at you like this takes me back to when we were first married. And in them days, I thought you were wonderful. I was so much in love with you. Sometimes in the night, when you were fast asleep, I'd put my lamp on and I'd just look at you. Just like I am doing now. And I'd think, wake up, Jim. Just like I'm doing now. Oh, Jim. Jim, can you hear me? Nurse! Nurse! He moved his head. I didn't imagine it, if that's what you're thinking.
No, I believe you.
I was just talking to him, and then all of a sudden he turned to me. So he must be able to hear me, mustn't he?
Well,
Well, surely to God that's a good sign.
Possibly, but don't get your hopes up too high, Mrs. McDonald.
Why not?
Well, it's not uncommon for a coma patient to move, but usually it's what they call an involuntary muscle action. Doesn't mean he's coming out of the coma.
Right. But he did move his head. What are you doing?
Just looking at him, that's all.
Yeah. Take a good long look, Steve. Because this is your doing.
This was an accident.
No, he was an accident. Waiting to happen the state he got into. And it's your fault.
I'll give it a rest, will you?
All you had to do was make it up with him. But oh no. You wouldn't even give him the time of day, never mind a job. If you'd taken him on when he asked you to, none of this would have happened. Endless drinking, neglecting himself.
Oi! I am sick of hearing that all this is my fault. It wasn't me that slept with his best pal, was it? Made his life a misery. Got him put in the nick and then divorced him. Now you don't like it, do you? So stop having a go at me because you, more than me, made him end up like this.
You're talking as if he were dead.
Well, he may as well be.
Sorry I'm late. I went to dark out.
Well, I said it was death to stay up all night, no?
What's been happening?
Nothing. Like what?
Well, has he moved at all? Made any sound? Anybody been in to see him?
The nurse with the curly hair and the blue uniform.
Did she say anything?
No.
Do you know, that's what I can't stand. They don't tell you what's going on.
Well, maybe there's nothing to tell, Mum. I mean, it doesn't look very good to me.
Don't say that.
I'm just being realistic.
They must know something, all these machines.
Maybe he's not in a coma at all.
What do you mean? Of course he is.
Well, maybe he's just getting his own back, pretending. Letting us all sweat a little bit while he just lies there keeping stum. It's the first time in his life.
I'm not having you talk like that in front of him. What do you mean, getting his own back?
You've got to remember, these are still early days.
But it's been nearly a fortnight.
Even so. As yet, there aren't enough indicators to tell us how long the recovery will take.
But he will recover, won't he?
There's no reason to suppose he won't.
Completely.
Well, as I said, at this stage we don't have enough to go on, so I can't make specific promises, but I've known many cases where a total or almost total recovery is made.
Even when they've been in the state that Jim's in, for as long as he has.
Oh, yes. Even months. In extreme cases, more than a year.
But it won't be that long for Jim, will it? Is there something you're not telling me?
We're doing everything we can, Mrs. McDonald. As soon as there's any significant progress, or otherwise, rest assured, you'll be informed. It's not in our interest for you to be kept in the dark, and you won't be. I promise you.
Right. Thank you. I'm sorry, but, well, what if he stays like this month after month? Or supposing it gets worse and you say there's no hope?
It's far too premature to discuss that at this stage.
No, but I need to know. I need to be prepared for the worst.
Nothing will be done without your consent.
What do you mean?
Just that.
What, turn the machines off, you mean?
Look, it's quite possible he'll come out of his coma within a few days. And if he does, it's quite likely he'll make a good recovery.
Will his memory be affected?
Not necessarily.
So he'll be able to remember exactly what happened? I mean, when he fell?
My advice is sit tight and wait. Be optimistic, but at the same time, be prepared for whatever happens.
But you promise you won't do anything without our permission?
Absolutely. That decision can only be made by the next of kin.
See, there you go, Mum. Nothing to worry about. You call the shots.
Yeah. But I'm not next to kin, Steve. You are. So it's your decision.
You hear me, Dad? The doctor said she can pull through. Make a full recovery and everything, you know, walking, speech, memory and all that. Listen, about when you fell, I didn't know it was going to turn out like that, and I'm sorry. You do believe I'm sorry, don't you? I mean, I want you to forgive me. I don't think I could live with that. You know, forgive me. Well, can't you switch or something? Make some kind of movement to show that you forgive me? Well, what do you expect, eh? Full of booze, climbing up a scaffolding. Any court in the land would say it was your own fault. You only had yourself to blame. You're just looking for trouble. Well, that's you all over, isn't it? Anything to cause me more grief. Well, you couldn't have sounded it better, could you? Put me through all this. I'd probably turn to drink myself now and probably end up like you. Eh? Honestly, why should I feel guilty for the rest of my life? I'm not the guilty one here, it's you. If anything happens to you, it is not my fault. Do you hear me? I'm not the one to blame for this. Not me, you.
What's going on? What's all the shouting about?
Oh, you won't understand. Well, I'm so surprised to see you.
You got me all wrong last night.
I don't think so.
I was upset. Hey, I don't want us to fall out. We're all this got.
Any joy?
No. You know, he had that moustache first day I met him. Swaggering down County Road in his uniform with his mates. What the first thing I noticed about him? That was twinkle in his eye. He looks smaller, doesn't he? Shorter, thinner, everything about him.
Even his fists.
What's the first thing you remember?
I don't know. Me and Andy were about 4. Playing horsey on his knee. I think it was him. I can't remember his face now. And at that time we went to Ireland for Christmas. And him and Uncle Bill fell into the Christmas tree. What, have I said something wrong?
He was a good dad. You won't let yourself believe it, will you?
Mum, you asked me what I remember and that was it. I'm not slagging him off. That was one of the best Christmases we ever had, that.
Yeah, but the only bit you remember is him getting drunk and acting daft.
Well, that's all I remember of him. I'm trying to make him into a saint.
How could I? I divorced him, didn't I? As you were so keen to remind me. But I'm not going to let a piece of paper make me forget the good things.
Yeah, and me.
Steve, you've been at each other's throats for months.
So,
even if you are his next of kin,
oh, Mum, not this again.
you're the last person they should be talking to about pulling the plug. Go. It's obvious you don't want to be here.
Right. I suppose one martyr in the family isn't enough.
I hope we can't hear you.
Why, probably agree with me. Didn't he pride himself on being plain-speaking Jim? You know what makes me laugh? You still blame me for everything that's happened, and it was all his fault.
Oh, no, Steve. We've been over this time and time again. It was an accident.
No, look. There was nothing wrong with that scaffolding. There wasn't a bolt out of place. It was him.
What was it? What?
Him. He comes out the pub, drunk, comes up the scaffolding, spoiling for a fight. He throws a punch at me. I back out the way. I mean, what else would you do? And then he slips over the edge. He didn't even need a helping hand.
No.
Yes, Mum.
No, it can't have been like that.
Yes, it was exactly like that. Look, I didn't want to tell you. Look, you think I ate his guts? Well, I don't. There's just one thing that sticks out of my mind. If it wasn't him, then it could be me lying in that bed.